So, guys, this is gonna be, this is my Our Life Part 3, and I'm gonna record, I'm, because I'm 36 years old, I'll be 37 years old, October 3rd, this is September 30, September, guys, I'm just kidding, I'm poking fun at my son in his video, but this is Our Life Part 3, so I've watched first two parts. I've lived the story. I've watched the videos, and then I had to add some things because I know, like, I talk shit, right? I said, oh, ADHD, but you know, guys got to keep up with me. I don't. I get sidetracked, but I still get to a point. Yeah, but I did forget a few things, and that has nothing to do with ADHD. That's just like life, guys. You know, and the people again, like, whatever, they don't matter because they don't. But okay, so a few points, right? So I never finished the, well, first of all, I wanted to continue with the Aiden thing. His brother, I had mentioned his half brother. So at least he had Aiden, like, you know, to be more comfortable, because the thing is, guys, Joe lives in a 3-bedroom house. When Joe bought the house, he had his room, and then a bedroom for both. At the very beginning, they each had their own room. It didn't work out. Joe made a varying change, you know, whatever like thing he was into at the time that I would encourage, you know, that he wouldn't follow through with. It became devoted to that. Like, that room became devoted. So, like, for a while it was a gym that he worked out in for like a month. Then it was like a 3D printer, like a 3D printing, like, Fortune 500 company room. What it is now is Jace's room, the 15-year-old, and because I guess the law is like she can't share a room with a bed, share a room with a boy, right? And you know how she hates them because she's gay, and to be gay means you hate the opposite sex, guys. Okay, so you certainly can't share a room with them, whether because you're 15, you can't act like, you know, like, oh, it lasts into adulthood, guys, okay? Adults out there, you're being, if you don't let people think that you have to accept them because you're an adult, okay? Anyhow, so Damon has to now share a room with Michael. You know, it's not like the worst thing, but what about Aiden? You know, like, okay, so all three of them share, the rooms are small, you know, like, I'm not talking shit about the house itself. You know, the house that, okay, granted, yeah, he bought it, but guys, I'm the one that had to, like, be his human alarm clock, because if it weren't for me, Joe wouldn't have lasted at any job long enough to, you know, buy the house, you know. Seriously, like, the reason he got fired from his last job is because he was cheating on me with neglect back in 2017, and they were working together, and I said, fuck that. Why would I wake him up to go to work at a job with a skank that they both are, like, somehow I'm still the bad guy in this situation, you know, they're treating me like the bad guy. So yeah, I didn't wake him up and he lost his job, you know. Like, and it still continued on this way. You know how many alarm clocks, guys? Do you know how many fucking alarm clocks are in that house? Like, Damon became obsessed with clocks, okay? You know how I've mentioned, anyone who has an autistic child knows. If you guys saw his Sing-a-Maling collection, like, once Damon gets into something and wants to collect it, that's it, okay? So Joe had plenty of both electrical, like, be buzzer alarms, you know, like the real popular, like in Home Alone, you know, the one that they missed. Those kind, and then the old school, even my mom bought one that was just the old school, like, you know, so if a kid EMP happened or some kind of blackout of any kind happened, you know, the clock would still work. And talk about complacency, this is where my annoyance would come with Joe, because he couldn't put the effort into, you know, use them. He would set his phone alarm. But guys, if you have, I mean, it's understandable because phone alarms are, like, kind of tricky, guys. I'm always good with that. I told you guys, my mind is like, my body's like, yes, please wake up, because, you know, like, my dreams are always terrifying and, like, sad and, you know, full of misery and, like, you know, all negative emotion. I just made a video about that. So I am pretty good with hearing alarms. It takes I mean, I'd have to be crashing from, like, a, you know, a 5-day bender or something to not hear an alarm. And even then, I would probably hear an alarm, you know what I mean? I probably wouldn't want to, but I would hear it. But anyhow, phone alarms, yes, they can be hard to hear, but like you can't put, and I've mentioned in my Marina and the Diamonds video, like there's just some things that, I'm sorry, women, ladies, like I'm not gonna. Yes, I'm nurturing. I do. I've overextended myself to guys I've dated and just people in general, like doing stuff for them, like mothering them, or whatever. But there's just I'm not gonna set the like. I would say, hey, why don't you use one of Damon's like 50 clocks to. Because, I was trying to go back to my apartment, guys. I mentioned I lived with Joe. We weren't together. We weren't sleeping together. I know nobody would ever buy that. We weren't physically, sexually, nor bed